By the end of this video, you will possess the precise psychological lens to decode the hidden behavior of human attraction, ending the confusion once and for all, allowing you to instantly read any room with absolute certainty and zero guesswork. To master this level of acute awareness, we must step entirely away from standard modern advice, ignoring the superficial tricks and desperate tactics that look pathetic to a woman of true high value. Instead, we are tracing a path toward complete behavioral mastery and emotional independence through the dichotomy of control. A Stoic man never wastes his limited, sacred energy chasing or forcing attention from the external world. He only controls his own mind, his own actions, and his own character, which naturally acts as a massive gravity well that draws the right people toward him. Today, we will dismantle the complex matrix of female psychology by breaking down the human experience into 4 distinct layers of non-verbal communication that cannot be faked or manufactured. The first layer of this profound mastery is the descent of the gaze. The most devastating mistake a man can make in social environments is confusing basic social manners, professional courtesy, or generic friendliness with true biological attraction. This confusion is where thousands of men ruin their composure, misinterpreting a polite smile from a cashier, a co-worker, or an acquaintance as an open invitation, leading to awkward encounters and broken confidence. You must understand the baseline of human socialization to solve this viewer confusion once and for all. When a woman makes brief eye contact with you purely out of social necessity or standard manners, her gaze breaks away horizontally. It sweeps along the horizon of the room, moving seamlessly from your face to the next object or person in the environment, without skipping a beat. It is a flat, superficial look that carries absolutely no emotional weight or biological tension. It is simply a civil acknowledgement of your presence in a shared physical space. True attraction, however, operates on a completely different evolutionary loop that is rooted deep within our biology, revealing itself through lingering eye contact. When her eyes register a man who projects an aura of deep internal value, emotional stability, and true strength, the gaze does not simply pass over him. It lingers for a distinct micro-moment longer than normal, holding on just enough to signal that you have been registered completely. When that look definitionally breaks, because the social pressure of direct eye contact becomes too heavy to maintain, it does not move sideways along the horizon. The gaze drops directly downward, sliding toward the floor, pausing for a fraction of a second before resetting back to her original focus. This downward release is an involuntary subconscious indicator that your presence has registered deeply within her nervous system, causing a temporary disruption in her baseline composure. When your eyes meet hers, you must project an unshakable presence. You do not look away nervously, you do not shift your weight uncomfortably, and you do not smile desperately like a child begging for approval. You hold the gaze with a calm, centered stillness that signals you are completely at peace with yourself and entirely unbothered by the tension. A reactive, desperate man, starved for attention, rushes to capitalize on this look immediately, breaking his own composure to force an unnatural interaction, instantly destroying the mystery. A Stoic man simply observes it with total detachment. He holds his frame, recognizing the biological signal for what it is, without allowing his internal peace to be disrupted or validated by external eyes. He knows that his worth is self-generated, so he watches the room like a scientist observing an experiment, completely unmoved by the outcome. The second layer is spatial gravity and subconscious proximity. A woman who understands her own worth and operates with high self-esteem will rarely, if ever, engage in aggressive, overt chase. She will not hunt a man down or make loud, desperate declarations of interest, as modern dating culture falsely portrays. Instead, she utilizes a subtle, highly effective form of spatial gravity, repeatedly and subconsciously placing herself inside your immediate physical space to invite interaction. If you pay close attention to the architecture of a room, you will notice her standing near your location at a social gathering, choosing a table or a seat that sits directly within your line of sight, or repeatedly navigating a path through a crowded space that naturally intersects with your trajectory. This behavior is never a coincidental event or a random twist of fate. It is an evolutionary invitation for natural interaction, a brilliant strategy designed to create a safe zone where a conversation can begin organically, without the friction or pressure of a cold approach. There is a massive, bitter divide among men today regarding how to command this kind of magnetic presence, a clear battle between the reliance on the wallet versus the reliance on pure presence. Many men believe they need a loud, flashing display of material wealth to get noticed, joking cynically in online spaces that these signals only appear when a heavy wallet, a designer brand, or an expensive car key is visible in a man's hand. They blame their lack of financial abundance for their romantic failures, completely blind to the fact that human biology is governed by laws far deeper and older than material currency. The ancient world did not rely on modern displays of consumerism, yet attraction operated on the exact same principles we see today. Practicing absolute nervous system regulation and grounding yourself in complete internal calm before you enter any space creates an undeniable, heavy biological gravity that money can never buy. When you walk into a room without the desperate need to be noticed, without looking around for approval, and without fidgeting or projecting anxiety, your stillness becomes a rare commodity. This is the magnetism of stillness. Like a massive mountain that does not move to attract the clouds, a grounded man stays firmly anchored in his purpose, unswayed by the fleeting environmental elements around him. In a world full of frantic, loud, and insecure people, the man who is completely at peace with his own presence becomes a focal point. Your stability naturally draws the scattered, anxious energy of others directly into your orbit, forcing them to adjust their position to be closer to the source of strength. The third layer is magnetic presence and the weight of few words, which naturally commands the environment without force. When a grounded man speaks, you will observe a fascinating social phenomenon. A room or side conversations will naturally quiet down to hear what he has to say. You do not achieve this authority by shouting, by interrupting others, or by trying to dominate the conversation with loud, obnoxious behavior. You achieve it through the deep authority of measured, high-value speech, understanding the immense weight of few words. Speak only when it is necessary, and when you do speak, let your words carry the substance of clarity and truth. This is where we must address the intense interest inside modern culture regarding the Sigma framework. Many men look at the concept of the Sigma male as a mysterious archetype, but when you strip away the modern internet labels, the self-reliant, autonomous man is simply the modern embodiment of Stoic self-mastery. He is a man who operates completely outside the traditional tribal hierarchies, refusing to compete for social dominance or play petty games for popularity. He validates himself internally, and because he requires nothing from the group, His words hold a unique, uncorrupted weight that naturally commands respect from everyone in the room. This brings us to the fourth layer, biological mirroring and touch, which is the ultimate missing clue that almost every mainstream analysis of dating dynamics completely misses, leaving a massive, crippling blind spot in a man's social understanding. Most dating coaches focus entirely on verbal cues or obvious forced body language, completely ignoring the subtle somatic indicators that happen when two human bodies occupy the same space. When the human nervous system identifies a high-value, emotionally steady masculine presence, it instinctively drops its defensive guard, shifting out of the survival state of hypervigilance and into a state of deep safety and relaxation. This is where nervous system regulation becomes your greatest asset. Your internal stoic calm creates an incredibly safe, stable environment, allowing her nervous system to drop its guard and naturally mirror your own stability. You must look closely for the micro signals of this physical comfort and biological alignment, specifically the element of unconscious touch that viewers often find completely missing from standard advice. If a woman is sitting next to you and her arm lightly brushes against yours during a shared moment, and she does not immediately pull away or correct her posture, her biology is actively verifying your safety. She is comfortable sharing her physical perimeter with you. Furthermore, listen to the silent language of her movements. When she reaches out to briefly and unconsciously touch your arm, your shoulder, or your hand during a casual conversation, or when she unconsciously adjusts her hair to expose her neck while talking to you, her nervous system is operating without a single shred of threat detection. These are powerful, completely involuntary micro-gestures of biological mirroring and alignment. Because you are emitting a calm, grounded energy, her biology is subconsciously adjusting its own cadence to match yours. She begins to slow down her speaking pace, mirror your gestures, and synchronize her breathing with your measured, slow, and unhurried rhythm. This is a level of comfort that cannot be faked through conversational tricks. It is a direct physiological response to a man who knows how to govern his own mind and body. The final, most critical layer is shifting completely from the low-value mindset of seeking approval to the high-value mindset of valuation. When you truly internalize these truths, an incredible permanent transformation occurs deep within your psyche, forcing a massive paradigm shift. You step completely out of the frantic, competitive, and low-value patterns that plague the modern world, and you enter the psychological domain of the ultimate stoic frame. The average modern man moves through social circles like a desperate beggar. Every single piece of his body language, his tone of voice, and his behavior projects a frantic, anxious question out into the universe. Does she like me? Am I good enough for you? Do you accept me? What can I do to make you stay? He overanalyzes every single mixed signal, loses his sleep over a delayed text message, compromises his own boundaries just to keep a woman's attention, and constantly searches for external validation to cure the painful, empty internal void of his own self-doubt. He has placed his entire emotional stability into the hands of external forces that he cannot control, which is the exact definition of psychological slavery. The Stoic man steps completely outside of this exhausting, low-value performance. You move completely away from the beggar's mindset. You are no longer navigating the world trying to be chosen, because you have realized that being chosen by someone who lacks character or virtue is completely worthless. Instead, you sit as the calm judge and evaluator of your own life. You observe the room with total emotional detachment, looking closely at the character, the integrity, the discipline, the communication style, and the virtue of those around you, assessing whether their energy actually aligns with your high standards, your peace of mind, and your chosen path. This final paradigm shift transitions you completely away from overthinking mixed signals, diving headfirst into a state of absolute unreactive evaluation. When you value your own internal code far above the desperate temporary need for external approval, your entire presence becomes completely non-reactive. You do not get excited by a single compliment, and you do not get depressed by a cold shoulder. You transform into the immovable, heavy anchor in a chaotic, desperate world, and that absolute refusal to beg is the highest, most magnetic form of power a man can ever possess. But here is the ultimate twist that most men never realize until it is far too late in life. The exact moment you master these silent signals is the precise moment you realize you no longer depend on them for your happiness or your identity. You do not look for these signs to feed an insecure ego, to brag to your peers, or to validate your masculinity. You do not view women as prizes to be won or puzzles to be solved to prove your worth. Instead, you read these signals simply as a practical map of the human landscape, remaining completely detached from the outcome of any single interaction. If a woman shows interest, you observe it calmly. If she shows no interest, you observe it with the exact same level of calm indifference, understanding that her perspective is completely outside of your control and therefore irrelevant to your internal peace. Your value as a man is already permanently locked in, generated entirely from your own daily discipline, your own quiet virtues, your commitment to truth, and your relentless dedication to your chosen path. You do not need a woman's gaze, her proximity, or her touch to tell you who you are, because you have already answered that question through your own actions. If you want to completely master this unreactive state of mind, protect your energy from modern distractions and outclass the noise of the contemporary dating world, you must continue to sharpen your perception every single day without fail. Do not allow your mind to get lazy and slip back into the anxious, approval-seeking habits of the past. If this deep, psychological analysis brought absolute clarity to your perspective today and helped you see the truth through the noise, make sure to like this video and subscribe to The Silent Roar right now. By joining this circle of focused individuals, you commit to building an exceptional, disciplined mind, mastering your composure under pressure, and commanding your life with absolute, unwavering clarity. Focus heavily on your internal growth. Guard your limited attention fiercely from the trivialities of the world, and let your character speak for itself.